What's up, world? Welcome to the latest edition of the RiOT Comedy Podcast presented by RiOT. Shout out to RiOT Natural Spring Water, keeping us healthy and hydrated over here. NBA news. We've been on hiatus for a couple weeks. Couple weeks into the season now. NFL trade deadline. Let's get caught up. First things first, NBA. We're about 7 games in for most teams.
Yeah.
Biggest surprise so far.
I am not. I don't know. I'm not like super surprised by a lot of these things. I think that I guess the thing I'm most surprised by is like the Cavs are finally as good as they're supposed to be. I know it takes time to build a team.
Yeah.
I think they're the second best team in the playoffs, and I think I've seen enough from them to say that I think they stay that way. I think that that's just what it is in the Eastern Conference now. Yeah, I think they're the second best team in the East. And I think they're going to prove it the whole entire Eastern Conference season, the playoffs, everything. I mean, their starting five is really good. I've been trying to say for years that they should be better than they are. Like, I know it takes time to build a team, and all their players were pretty young. Like Mobley was young, Garland was young. It's just I think they need a little more bench help. But
yeah,
it's refreshing to see that they're good and seeing Donovan Mitchell like play good basketball. And I think that it's gonna. I think the Sixers are almost cooked already. And it's not because of
for sure.
And it's not because of Joel Embiid not playing. I mean, that has something to do with it. But it's not the emotion. Like, I don't have any. Like, I don't care that he hit that reporter. That reporter had it coming. I don't care that he's not playing. I just am not a 76ers believer. Period. Like, I just can't.
The organization, I got no faith in whatsoever. I have zero faith in the Sixers organization to do anything at all and make it.
And I'm not trying to knock Joel here, but I've seen Joel play with good players. I've seen him play with Jimmy Butler. I've seen him play with James Harden. I've seen him play with good players and never make it to a conference finals. So it's just that, like, history, if it repeats itself, would suggest that that's going to be a hard thing for them to do. They should make it. They have a talented enough team to go to the finals and win it, as far as I'm concerned, if you are as good as you want to be. But
absolutely,
the Cavs are really good. They got Twin Towers. I like what they're doing, so that's kind of a surprise. I'm also kind of surprised at how good the Lakers look. Just because first-year coach, similar roster, they have some moves to make. But what's kind of been surprising to you, or what have you noticed going into the season?
What? The Warriors are the biggest surprise to me.
Yeah,
6-1.
Yeah,
and they went 3-0 whenever Steph was out. 3-0 or 4-0, however many games they had without Steph.
Yeah,
they didn't lose any. And also, like, I texted you a few games into the season, and everyone thought the Warriors were going to be trash, and I told you. Now, granted, I don't think they're going to keep a pace like this all season, but I think they're going to win 40-something games, whereas before this season started, I expected them to win about 35. And
I'm not.
Their offense looks great. Steve Kerr's out there coaching his ass off, man. Their offense looks fantastic.
Agreed, and I think that I didn't think they'd make the playoffs this year. I'll be honest. I was like kind of down on the Warriors, and I think that they definitely make the playoffs now. I think it's kind of a product of a lot of different things. I think that they're out to prove that they're still good. I think that the Western Conference is not as good, and I think that that's a recipe for going to the playoffs. But I do think that the Warriors get bounced out in the first round of the playoffs. Like, I'm still not going to buy this. You cannot tell me that your second best player on your team, nobody knows who it is, and you're going to win a bunch of games in the postseason. I'm just not buying it.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure.
It's not like. And it's not like we're trying to decide who the second best player is between, like, really good basketball players. Like, they're just hoping Kuminga keeps moving forward, Moody keeps moving forward. Like, their second most important player is obviously Draymond Green, but second best player, it might be Buddy Hield now. If Buddy Hield can just keep playing basketball like this, though, and make his open threes and get his Klay Thompson on, then they will win their first-round playoff series. Then they'll get beat after that. But they will win their first-round playoff series. Their biggest concern, though, is still the center position. I don't know if they can beat the Nuggets just because, like, Joker is going to be such a terrible matchup for them. The Lakers are a bad matchup. Even Sabonis is like a rough matchup for them. So we'll see what they do. But they are a surprise. Yes, they are very, very, very surprising. And I'm also surprised that the Bucks are 1-6. I'm shocked.
I'm surprised for sure.
So I don't know if you saw this or not, but we now have the exact same amount of games coached by not Adrian Griffin. Who was the coach for the Bucks before Doc? Was it Adrian?
Yeah, it was Adrian.
So he was 30-13, right? 43 games, and Doc Rivers is 18-25. Same shit, same roster, same everything going on, and this is what it's come to. Like, and you can't fire Doc because then you're going to be paying like 3, maybe 4 coaches. Like, It's a disaster there of epic proportions. And Dame and Giannis have been playing pretty good basketball. It's not like you can look at those teams and those games and be like, oh, they suck. Dame's over the hill.
They
Giannis
combined for
doesn't have it.
75. They
What do you
combined for
say?
75 today.
Yeah, and
Giannis and Dame,
lost.
75. Lost.
Lost. Because the Bucks have done such a bad job building a team around those guys. And we've been saying it for years. I've been saying it for 2 years. I mean, I'm not even going to say it anymore because I feel like a fucking broken record at this point. Like, you guys just suck dick at building a team, and it just is what it is. And if you're a Milwaukee Bucks fan, don't be mad at me. Be mad at your shithole GM for putting together that shithole roster and firing a coach who was 30-13. You fired a coach who was 30-13. You fired a coach.
Winning like 70% of your games, and you fire this dude.
Most GMs in the NBA will suck a dick to have a coach who will coach an average of 30 wins every 43 games, and you fucking fired him. You're bad. You're a bad organization. Plain and simple for that. Anywho, not a lot of other surprises for me in the NBA though. I do want to get to the NFL trade deadline though, because I think we actually saw some power shifts. I love the NFL taking a page out of the NBA's book. Like, trade deadline's big news. We make big trades. We over here shipping out top flight corners, top flight wide receivers. And, you know, as far as like the biggest move goes at the trade deadline, I think there's two moves that really, well, a couple that really stand out. Obviously, D-Hop to the Chiefs. Like, anybody who thought that D-Hop was just like washed up or old was so stupid to even think that. He's too good. He's too good of a talent to then go play with a premier quarterback and suck.
Absolutely.
You know,
and those guys who have been superstars their whole career that have had to play for average or bad teams, and then they start to age and slip a little bit. Whenever they get to a new team that's a real contender, they always have a revival.
Yes. And
I would expect D-Hop to go in there and shred and be D-Hop.
I mean, two touchdowns on Monday Night Football, some tough catches in there. Like, he's showing out already. And that's the thing, is like, these guys are hurt. Like, the Chiefs, like, I don't think people realize this, but like, Rashid Rice is gonna come back. There's a chance that Hollywood Brown comes back. And then like Juju Smith-Schuster's like their fifth best wide receiver because Xavier Worthy's still there. So like, and like Pacheco's out. So like, if Pacheco comes back, and then you have Rashid Rice.
All come back.
And if all these guys come back, like, nobody will beat these motherfuckers for a three-peat. And they're going to beat the shit out of everybody. The only team at this point that can beat these motherfuckers, I'm convinced, is the Detroit Lions. I love that they went and got I love that they went and got Smith from the Ravens. I love that. I love going to get a pass rusher filling the Hutchinson spot. They were winning without him. So really, you're just putting more chips at the center of the table because you're on a fucking hot streak. And like, I think the Ravens have a chance to beat the Chiefs, obviously. I think the Ravens have maybe the most complete team in the NFL, but I haven't seen it. So I think if the Chiefs are going to lose to somebody in the playoffs, it's going to be to somebody stupid like the Lions. Like how the Pats lost to the Giants twice. Like a team that the Chiefs maybe aren't super familiar with. They don't play them every year. They're hot. Nobody's playing better football right now than Jared Goff. I'll stand on that hill. Obviously, he's not the best quarterback in the NFL.
If MVP voting was today, it would have to be Jared Goff.
Well, everybody's picking Lamar for MVP right now. And it's interesting to say, like, the MVP discussion, right? Because here, I get the side for Lamar, right? Lamar is shredding. Like, Lamar is going to break some serious records this year. He's on pace.
Lamar's a killer, man.
He's on pace for over 4,000 yards and over 800 yards rushing with only, like, 6 interceptions and, like, for 36 touchdowns. Like, if he does that, like, you're the MVP. No question. Yeah. However, though, I would be willing to argue, though, that having the best running back in football on your team is important. I think that's important. I think it opens up a lot of throwing lanes and a lot of running lanes for you. And I've seen Jared Goff. Dude, sorry, I got my dumbass dog in here. Jared Goff plays on one of the most talented football teams in the NFL. Nobody's saying that he doesn't, but this dude is literally fucking playing perfect football. Like, he is playing as good as you have ever seen a quarterback play in the history of the NFL. And obviously, he's not an all-time great. But by God, if this motherfucker goes out and goes to another Super Bowl and wins this motherfucker, we got to put some respect on this motherfucker's name. He's the number 1 overall pick. He got drafted by Jeff Fisher. I don't think people realize how much of a doomsday that is, but he ruined Vince Young's career, and Vince Young could have had a good career. He showed flashes of being decent, and he ruined it. He almost ruined Jared Goff. Sean McVay went there. Without Todd Gurley, he struggled for a little bit, so he shipped him out for Stafford. It really worked out. I don't think that Jared Goff was built to be in L.A. anyways. I don't think that he needed that. He needed to go somewhere and grow and build. But if he comes out and wins a Super Bowl this year and crushes this season like he's doing, and we have a couple more years of Jared Goff doing things like this dude's putting together a Hall of Fame resume. And I think that's something that we need to talk about and respect. I also love Lattimore to the Commanders. I'm a big Commanders fan. I just want to see a rookie come out and like go to the
They're
Super
looking
Bowl.
good over there, man.
Hell yeah,
I
I
would
just
love
want to
to
see
see
a
that.
rookie come out and shred and like go to the Super Bowl. Like I just want to see it.
Ben Daniels is a bad dude.
Hell yeah, and I'm a Rams fan. And like, if they play the Rams, go Rams, but at the end of the day, dog, like I'd love to see a Jaden Daniels Super Bowl just because he's a rookie. And I just think that like everybody would lose their minds and talk about like he's the next best thing. Because that's what we do. That's what we do in sports. Oh my God, he's gonna be the next greatest quarterback we've ever seen. And like people just forget that Patrick Mahomes.
We gotta sensationalize everything.
Oh, we have to. Like, who's the best quarterback? Like, I saw like somebody was ranking, and I'm getting really tired of clickbait. I'm really hoping that goes away in the near future. Like, I think that it might just because people are getting kind of over it, but we'll see because people do fall for it. But they were like ranking best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. And I get that you're saying like, oh, like best quarterback in the NFL, but like the best quarterback in the NFL is Patrick Mahomes. Whenever you say best quarterback in the NFL right now, I'm saying it's Jared Goff, best quarterback in the NFL right now because like Pat Mahomes doesn't count in these conversations. That's how good that he is. Right. It's like you have to exclude him out of these conversations.
Jared Goff is playing the best. Jared Goff is playing the best.
He's playing the best, but he is not like everybody knows. Like that's when they had him at like number 5. They're like, well, I think Josh Allen's playing better football than him right now, and I think Lamar's playing better football, and I think all because I'm saying it like this because it was obviously a white guy trying to fucking sound smart about sports, and it was fucking like Pat Mahomes is undefeated. People are talking right now like, could the Chiefs go undefeated in three-peat? And you guys are over here having discussions about who the best fucking quarterback in the NFL is right now. It has been him for the last 5 fucking years, and it's going to be him for the next 10, everybody. Get over it. Nothing to talk about. Nothing to talk about, folks. Find something interesting to talk about. Find something that actually fucking matters to talk about. Let's talk about the resurgence of the running back position in the NFL. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about maybe Saquon Barkley is on pace for 1,900 yards. Derrick Henry's on pace for 1,900 yards. Both of these teams are better with these running backs on these teams. Do we get to see a resurgence of the running back position in the NFL? Like Bijan Robinson in Atlanta's good. Are we going to see a resurgence? Are we going to start to see teams be like, you know what? Maybe play action does work better when our running back can rush for almost 2,000 yards a season. Maybe our blocking is easier when people think we're actually going to run the ball. Maybe all these things do get easier if your running back fucking gives you 100 yards a game and a touchdown. Maybe shit does get easier. That's like saying that's like saying I'm a baseball manager and I only do analytics and I only want guys who hit singles at a high rate because they're on base. Now, I'll take the guy who bats 270 though who hits 40 jacks a season. How about that? I'll take that motherfucker too. I know the analytics say he strikes out a lot, but by God, every time he hits a goddamn ball, it's a fucking RBI. So it's no different. It's no different. Like, and not to mention, like the running game is demoralizing. It is demoralizing to teams. When Derrick Henry goes out there and rushes for 160 yards and 2 touchdowns, it's demoralizing. These teams are like, we cannot beat these guys. This is too much. We are working too hard.
They can't stop. It's just like fuck. I just want to. Sometimes like. Whenever you're just getting crushed and you just have to face an unstoppable player, eventually sometimes you get in that point in the game where you're like, I just want to go home. This sucks.
1,000%. And like Nick Sirianni is the worst coach in the NFL right now. Nobody can. Did you see that game on Sunday? What he did?
Enlighten me.
He went for 3 2-point conversions in the game. Missed them all. Went for 2 fourth downs in field goal range. Missed them both. Turnover on downs on both. They were up 20-0, something like that. They were up by over 2 scores. Trevor Lawrence almost brings them all the way back. They win 28-23. The Eagles win. He tried as hard as he could to piss that fucking football game away. And the reason that they won that football game was because of Saquon Barkley. He hurdled somebody running backwards.
Barkley had to jump over somebody backwards. To win the game.
Get you this goddamn win, and the way that you reciprocate this, it's like he's just flying loose. He's like Dan Campbell, but no fire. So he's just a douchebag. He's just a piece of shit douchebag. Like I get it, you're 6-2, but these guys really are winning in spite of this coach. Like I'm telling you, these fucking Eagles might go 12-5 and make it to the NFC Championship game, and this dude gets fired. That's a legit possibility because he's so fucking bad at his job. Take your points. Like, Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season. He had it. It was 4th and 1 a couple weeks ago. 4th and 1. They were down 10-0 on the 20-yard line. A lot of NFL coaches would say go for it, right? You know what Mike Tomlin did?
Yeah, they regret it. He punted.
He kicked the fucking field goal and got it back to a one-score game. Yeah, Tomlin kicked the field goal, got it back to a one-score game. 2 possessions later, interception by the Steelers defense, and they ran it down, and then they scored a touchdown on offense a couple possessions after that and tied the game. Because you have to score points to win games. And people are forgetting that field goals are worth 3, I think. People are forgetting.
Seattle also did that against the Rams. They were in field goal range and went for it on 4th and 1 and turnover on downs, and they ended up losing in overtime.
And you fucking lost, guys. You lost. Like, this is like getting very frustrating.
I enjoyed it. Being a Rams fan, I enjoyed it when Seattle did it. I was all about it.
But after the NFC Championship game last year, you think some coaches would have looked around and been like, fuck, I don't want to be that guy.
Right.
I don't want to be that guy. And I get going for it. Like, sometimes I totally get it. I get it. Like, especially like in the fourth quarter, there's 5 minutes to go. You're down by 7. You're in the red zone. It's 4th and 1. Go for it. But we got motherfuckers going for it in the first quarter, and their thought process, like Nick Sirianni's thought process is literally like, oh, we'll just have to get it back later. Well, this is the NFL. You don't get plays back. You don't get points back. These teams are good. And you're like, the Commanders are in your division. You almost lost to the Jaguars, the worst team in the NFL, because you wouldn't kick extra points. What are you working on? What are you doing? What is your goal here? Because right now, everybody thinks you're a fucking idiot. And it's just very frustrating to watch. Like, I don't know. Big nuts are good, but giant nuts that's a cancer.
Got no when to use them. Got no when to use them, though.
I had this happen to me once. I woke up one morning. My testicle was very large. And I went to the doctor, and he said, hey, you have a bunch of cancer in there. We have to cut that out. That's Nick Sirianni. He's my giant testicle. That's him. And it's time to cut him out of there.
He needs cut out.
He's a cancer. He literally is a cancer. He's a cancer for that team. They're winning in spite of him, but they're going to lose because of him. They're going to lose because of him. So it's a very frustrating thing to watch, though. But it is what it is. We'll kind of see how the rest of the season shakes up. But that shit frustrates me, dog. I can't watch, and I'm just so tired of I'm so tired of the NFC East in general, except for the Commanders. Like, I don't give a shit about Daniel Jones being dick sucky. I don't give a shit about Nick Sirianni. Like, I'm over hearing about him. I'm over the Cowboys. They're super. Oh God, trade deadline stuff. We almost forgot to bring up the stupid fucking Cowboys. How do you feel about the Cowboys being buyers and not sellers at the trade deadline, even though they're a bottom 5 team in the NFL?
Exactly how anyone should think about it. Like you said, that's the perfect way to put it. They're a bottom 5 team in the NFL. They're bottom feeders, and they're trying to make a move to, like, exactly. You should be selling, not buying right now. This is like start from scratch. Dak's gonna miss the next 4 weeks. You guys already suck this season. You're like 3-5 right now. Just wait for next year. Start preparing for that. Blow up this season. Get rid of any assets that are not gonna, that you don't see yourself needing next year, or try to, flip those for better assets or draft picks or whatever it is. But yeah, and giving up a 4th rounder for a guy who isn't gonna. That's the move you make when you're like, you're doing pretty good. Like that's a move you make whenever you're
5-4,
6-5. Yeah, 5-3 like right now, and you feel like you're some kind of piece away because your games have been close, and you just need something to get you like a little bit better and be a real contender with these other teams. And I don't know. That's like the move you make, not whenever you're a bottom feeder. I don't know.
This will be the
Jerry
last
Jones,
question.
though. What do you expect?
Right, this will be the last thing I say, and then I'm going to rapid fire some shit your direction and kind of see. I'm curious how you feel about these NFL teams. But Jerry Jones, I'm convinced, is doing shit on purpose now. Like, just because he wants to be talked about. Like, he understands
maybe
that as long as you're talked about and you're in the media, you're getting free marketing. This 4th round pick is worth the free marketing for the Dallas Cowboys. I just want to be talked about. I just want people to say the Cowboy name. We're doing it right now, and they suck dick. And I'm convinced that that's what he's doing, that this is all he wants, and this is all he's doing is, as long as people are talking about me, I don't have to win. I obviously don't want to win that bad.
May be happening. That may be happening.
I'm a terrible GM. I just gave away 49% of my cap to 2 players, and now I can't even keep Micah Parsons. That's the problem, right? Like, you gave CD all this money. You gave Dak all this money. You guys could have had Sam Darnold. You guys could have had Sam Darnold, Saquon, Derrick Henry, D-Hop.
Get Micah to the Rams. Get rid of him, Jerry Jones. That'll really get you talked about.
Well, it's too late now. And I don't even know how he's going to sign him, though. That's the thing, is Micah's on his last year next year, and he's going to want money. He's earned it. He's going to want his money. And if you give him $30 million, like he's owed, like he fucking deserves. If anybody deserves $30 million on that goddamn football team, it's Micah, even though I have my own issues with him talking on his podcast about who's the best NFL team when you play in the NFL. I have a huge problem with that. I think your teammates probably don't love it, but get your money, boo-boo. I'm happy for you getting rich, straight up. But you can't give him $30 million because if you do, now you have like 58% of your fucking salary cap, 62% of your salary cap dedicated to 3 guys. Now you really can't build nothing.
3 guys. Now you got to pay 50 guys on the rest of your roster with 40% of the money that you have for your roster.
It's not going to work. It's not going to compute to wins. It's just not. And like DeMarcus Lawrence, like why wouldn't you trade him? He's an old pass rusher. He's good, but he's old. He's worth a 5th round pick all day long. Got to be 4th. So like it's just he wants to be talked about. He wants to be relevant. He's just going with whatever I got to do for people to talk about me. That's all he's doing, and it's a shame. So I'm gonna get off the Cowboys. Fuck them. Right up their fucking Cowboy star asshole because they're fucking weak.
There ain't no point never talking about the Cowboys, honestly. It's just because they're the Cowboys. Let's be real. Like, I'm 34 years old. As long as I have been watching football, so I started watching football right around the time Troy Aikman retired, right? Late 90s. As long as I've been watching football, the Cowboys have been a joke. They've won 2 playoff games, and as long as I've been watching football, and that's it.
Like Scott Van Pelt said.
They're a poverty franchise. They're trash.
SVP said this a couple weeks ago, and he's like, I'm just so tired of it. He's like, I've been in this business for over 20 years, and it's the same shit every season. We got to listen to Jerry Jones talk, and all they do is make it to the playoffs and get bounced out immediately. I'm so over it. And I'm like, that's how everybody feels. But rapid-fire questions. I want to ask you if these teams are contenders or not, because I'm curious myself, and I don't really know how to feel about them. Pittsburgh Steelers, contenders in your opinion?
Like Super Bowl contenders?
Yeah, like we can get on a little bit of a streak here and go to the Super Bowl. We're not saying win Super Bowl. We're talking about going and then see what happens.
No, absolutely not. The Steelers have no chance.
Okay.
No chance of winning the AFC. No.
Okay. Cincinnati.
Absolutely not.
Okay. But the Ravens, you feel good about them?
Absolutely. The Ravens could knock off the Chiefs. I think there's 3 teams that can win the AFC. Obviously, Kansas City. Obviously, I think Baltimore could
you're going to say Buff?
And Buffalo. I don't think anyone else in the AFC has a chance.
Okay. So let's look at the NFC then as far as teams that can go to the Super Bowl. We're going to say contenders or not. Green Bay Packers.
They could go. The NFC's wide open. It's not like the AFC. The AFC
right,
is
that's why I'm kind of asking. Like,
NFC got a lot of balance. The Packers could win the NFC. I don't think they will, but they definitely could.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm thinking no.
San Francisco 49ers.
No. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think we're going to get an NFC West team winning the Super Bowl. Whoever wins our division is probably going to win 9 games.
I'm just saying win the NFC. That's what I mean by contenders for this segment.
That's what I'm saying. Get to the Super Bowl. Yeah, I don't think an NFC or a NFC West team is going to get to the Super Bowl this year.
Commanders.
They could. They absolutely could.
Eagles.
No, and it's for all the reasons that you just mentioned a little bit ago.
Okay. So, all right. So with that kind of being said, like Detroit, what?
Detroit could, Green Bay could.
Well, no, we know Detroit. I think Detroit's the best team in the NFC, and I don't even think it's close. Like I think that they're.
And I agree.
I think that we might see these motherfuckers like run through the NFC playoffs. Like we win every game by fucking 2 touchdowns. Like we beat the shit out of people.
They might.
We're good. We're good, and we know we're good, and we're here to put our dicks on the table, and I like it.
Yeah.
I like that shit. As far as like
fun watching them play.
I only like metaphorical dicks on tables, though. I don't really care for. And I thought about so I was talking to my wife a couple days ago, and I said something to her about it was like really nice outside. I was like, dude, I ain't even gonna lie, it's nice as fuck out here. And then I started thinking about like what a stupid fucking phrase that is. Like I ain't gonna lie. Like why would I lie about that? Why would I walk outside and be like, babe, it's beautiful, and then she runs outside and she's like, no, it's hot. Like, why would I even lie about that? And I was eating something. I was like, I'm not gonna lie, this food's delicious. Like, why would I lie about that? Why would I just sit there and eat shitty food for my own personal goof? So it's just like it's just a phrase that people say, and I'm
It is
like,
nonsense.
what a stupid fucking phrase that is. Like, and I was just like, this is a stupid fucking phrase. So I don't know. It just popped in my head. Just like, what a stupid fucking thing to say, Devin. Obviously, you're not gonna lie about this. Like, oh, I'm not gonna lie, this is pretty good. Like, yeah, probably. That's why you're eating it, dumbass.
I'm not gonna lie, that sex was fire, babe.
Right. And I would lie about that if she asked. Like, babe, you put it down. Like, you didn't even move and you still put it down. You're amazing. So I'd lie about that 100% of the time. So, but I'm really interested to kind of see how the rest of this NFL season shakes out. I think that it's going to be pretty interesting, but I don't think it's going to be as interesting as I hope, because like I got high hopes for the Ravens and I think they're going to lose to the Chiefs, and I got like high hopes for the Rams just because like we're finally back to 500, but they're going to get their fucking asses kicked by anybody who's super good. So I think my Super Bowl prediction now that we're like this far into the season, I think we can actually make good Super Bowl predictions. Who do you have going to the Super Bowl? I got Detroit versus Kansas City. Kansas City winning. Not going to put a score in there because I just fuck it. Who cares about what the score is? It just, all that matters is if you win or not. Everybody's like, what's your score though? Who cares? Who cares if it's 100-0 or 1-0 or 2-0? Like, it doesn't matter, everybody. They won. Nobody has. Have people not learned from Vin Diesel yet that it doesn't matter if you win by a fucking inch or a mile, dog? So
don't matter. Wins win.
But that's my Super Bowl pick. I almost had, like, that's the thing. Like, everybody keeps saying that to the Chiefs. Like, I don't know, we almost had him. Like, they're like the Ravens, dog. But you saw if his foot was in bounds, oh, you almost had me. Oh, yeah. You almost got a win.
Yeah. If he'd have just put his foot in bounds and played by the rules, they would have won.
Right, we would have won. So yeah, agreed. Who do you got? Is you got the same? Are you gonna be boring?
Well, as much as I would love for entertainment purposes to tell you why the Chiefs and Lions are not going to the Super Bowl and why other teams are, for some clicks and stuff, I can't do that. It's I got Chiefs Lions also with.
I think it's what
Chiefs repeat.
I mean, it's definitely what the people want, though. Like, people can say what they want.
Goff and Mahomes is must-see TV every time.
It's box office. It's box office. And not only that, but like anybody, like, here's my thing, is like anybody who's like, man, fuck the Chiefs. Like, agreed. I'm from Missouri. I've lived here my whole life. I'm a Rams fan. I was a St. Louis Rams fan. I'm an LA Rams fan. You ain't ever gonna hear nobody talk more shit on the Chiefs than me. And I hate all their fans. And if you're a Chiefs fan and you're watching this, you're part of the problem. You guys suck every year. You guys finally got good, and you guys can't help but to rub it in people's faces. And they're always like, well, let us have our moment.
They're the new Warriors fans.
Chiefs they are. You guys are the worst. Now, you guys are faithful. You guys are faithful fans, but like, you guys don't even understand how fucking whack you guys are. Anywho.
That's what happens when poverty franchises get good out of nowhere. Their fans don't know how to act.
You guys, like, anybody who doesn't want to see them play for a three-peat, though, or fucking at, like, anybody's like, I don't care about history being made. I don't care if we see all-time greats play. Then you're a fucking asshole. Sorry, you can not like me for it.
I'll root for the Rams because it's my team. If it's Rams-Chiefs Super Bowl, I'd rather see the Rams win. But anybody else, Chiefs versus anybody else, give me the three-peat, dog. I'm trying to see that. It's never happened before.
It's never happened before, right? So, like, why are we not wanting to see motherfuckers do incredible shit? Like, that's what America's all about, baby's doing incredible shit.
Absolutely.
That's what we're all about,
if Patrick Mahomes can pull off a three-peat, we've talked about this before. If Pat Mahomes pulls off a three-peat, if he can get one more, and if he's got 5 rings and he's got a three-peat in there, something no one else ever did,
we're starting to have serious conversations.
Serious conversations with him and Brady now.
Serious conversations, absolutely.
Give me that. I want to see. I always want to see the GOAT get knocked off. I'm trying to see Tom Brady get knocked off. I'm trying to see Michael Jordan get knocked off.
Hell yeah.
Everybody. Like, I'm trying to see all that shit. So I'm not
bringing that up, though. Another surprise.
They got too much for their
Here's a surprise for you from the NBA now that we're 7 games in. Second-year sophomore players in the NBA. Wemby not leading them in scoring is shocking.
Who is? Chet?
Dick. Over in Toronto, Grady Dick. That motherfucker is leading all second-year players in scoring 7-8 games into the season. Good for him, number one.
What's he averaging right now?
21.
Nice.
Good for him, dog. Like, that's fucking tight for you. Like, good for you. Super happy for you. You look like me. Cool. Get some white hoopers in there, dog. Not even gonna lie. Like, get some white hoopers in there, dog. Good for you, man. Shit ain't easy for you, dog. And like, Wemby coming out not looking awesome it's not going to last. I don't think any of this lasts. Wemby's an amazing player. He works incredibly hard. Anybody who's saying that, like, see, this is what I was saying, just give this motherfucker 3 more months into the season. And also, shout out Greg Popovich. Hope you get better. Supposedly you're having like some serious medical issues.
Yeah, shout out to Pop. Hopefully he's
shout out Pop, dog. You know, I don't know. I'm not going to make a joke about it. I'm just not going to. I think to me, it's not in bad taste, but I'm just going to leave that at that. I had a good joke stewed up, but I'll leave it at that. I mean, who would have thought a guy in his 70s was going to collapse after a long NBA game? Who would have fucking thought, everybody, that the stresses of NBA coaching can get to you in your 70s? Oh my God. But shout out Pop, though. I hope you are all right, dog.
Tim Duncan retired 8-9 years ago, dude.
Yeah.
And Popovich has been in retirement rumors ever since that. So Pop's been in retirement rumors for 8 years now.
I get him coaching. I'll coach till I die. If I was him, I would coach till I die. I'm trying down on the court anyway. It's like, I'm pretty sure his wife passed on. Old man. Pretty sure his wife passed on like 3 or 4 years ago anyway. So like, at the end of the day, like, if that happened to me, like, I would just coach till I died. Like, I'll die on the floor. I don't care.
I ain't mad at it.
I would just die on the floor then. Like, my life partner's gone. Now basketball's my life partner, and I'll just do this till I die. So shout out Pop. Hope you're doing better. But great, his name's Grady, right? That Dick dude in fucking Toronto. Like, Grady Dick, shout out you, dog. Keep hooping. Wemby's going to pass you pretty soon, though. So just enjoy it while you can. And I think that's our time for the day. You know, we hit in half an hour. But I appreciate y'all rocking with me. We're going to do more podcasts. We took some time off. I was sick for like 10 days. I don't know what was wrong with me, pneumonia or COVID, or maybe I'm just a pussy. I don't know, but I'm getting back into it, and we're ready to rock, baby.
Appreciate y'all rocking with us. We'll be back soon.
Holla.
More cartoons on the way, as always. Take care.